With the recent announcements from Apple to Verizon to T-Mobile and other companies, it's safe to say that 5G connectivity is finally here and available for consumers to use nationwide. So what is 5G and what does it mean for brands and consumers? 5G stands for fifth generation. So the G doesn't actually refer to any specific technology or hardware. It's simply the next level of connectivity. It's a standard of data speeds and availability that's established by the ITU, the International Telecommunication Union. It's a United Nations agency that sort of establishes non-enforceable guidelines and rules around marketing wireless networks. Would you be surprised if I told you that 4G is actually faster than 4G LTE? Well, how could that be? Well, when the ITU established the standards for 4G, those standards were actually set way too high for most network carriers to meet in a short period of time. But at the same time, they wanted to advertise the improvements that they were making to their networks to reach those 4G speeds. So they came out with LTE, which stands for long-term evolution. And those represent the steps that networks made to reach that 4G standard. Moving on to 5G. What is 5G? Well, the new standards for 5G is extremely high. 5G will need to be much faster than 4G, potentially 20 times faster download speeds, and have much lower latency in order to qualify as a true 5G network. These are both great things to have and let someone with a 5G connection do a lot more, like mobile gaming, for example. It's difficult to play online mobile games or online video games if there's any significant lag between your device and the game server. For example, if you're playing Call of Duty and you fire your gun, by the time the action to fire hits the server, your target could have moved and bam, you could have lost the game by then. Online mobile gaming is low-hanging fruit when we talk about real-life use cases for 5G connectivity. And it's just one example of the impact improvements in data speeds and latency can have on the market. So 5G sounds pretty awesome, right? Are there any drawbacks to it? Well, it really depends on how the technology is being used to reach that standard. And certain companies are going about it in different ways. Networks use radio waves to connect cell phone towers with their cell phones, whether it's to make phone calls, send texts, or transmit data. The technology being used to provide 5G connectivity uses higher frequency waves on the radio wave spectrum, mainly because those higher frequency waves can carry a lot more data. So for example, your AM radio operates on the lower end of the frequency wave, and a satellite TV signal operates on the higher end. Well, you can get your AM radio with just a simple channel. You tune it to that specific wavelength, and you can get that radio signal basically anywhere. Whereas a satellite TV signal can send a HD TV signal and internet access directly into your home, but that signal can be obstructed by a building or even just bad weather. So that represents one of the biggest drawbacks for 5G technology is that since it operates on the higher end of the radio wave spectrum, it won't be able to go through obstacles like walls or buildings, for example. T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T all have multiple bands with different frequencies that they send out a signal on. So if you go indoors or hop on an underground subway, for example, those carriers will use those lower operating bands to reach you. Although you probably revert to download speeds that are closer to 4G or 4G LTE. That being said, the prospect for 5G is extremely promising. The technology can be implemented in a variety of categories, such as the automotive industry, smart home appliances, home security, video gaming, not to mention the enterprise potential in manufacturing, healthcare, and logistics. One immediate application for 5G will be to provide home internet access to underserved markets. Providing a wireless 5G internet solution without having to dig and install expensive fiber optic cables could really increase the reach for rural customers. T-Mobile and Verizon currently offer a 5G fixed wireless home internet product, and Verizon recently announced its 5G router. Fiber optic and cable markets are extremely fragmented. One area has Xfinity, another area only has Spectrum, with limited competition available in these markets. 5G technology also represents a potential wireless home internet solution that can actually compete with wired options like fiber and cable on both cost and data speeds. Subscribe to our Mintel blog as we keep a close eye on the development of 5G.